serving up a warm dish of the Triads culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Hey folks, and welcome to this episode, which is 147 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of March 30th through April 5th, 2020. My name is Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And we are opening the recipe box. We are recording, or I'm recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town in the Less Desirable Studios in the lab at Industry Hill.
The rest of us are being recorded at.
That's right. You're just, I am recording, you're right, I'm throwing it at you, and you're throwing it back, and I'm catching it. As with last week, we are joined this week by Leah Metz. Hello, Leah.
Woo! Thank you.
It's a party.
Yes. We are social distancing and whatever else catchphrase you want to call it this week during the COVID apocalypse. And
yeah, we're definitely at least 6 feet apart.
Yeah, definitely. Well, actually, we're at least 6 miles apart, I'm sure.
I'm 35 miles from you right now.
Yeah.
Yes.
From here, though, Leah might be less than 6 miles. I'd say she's probably 3.5.
Okay. I was going to say between 3 and 6.
Yeah,
I think we should stay with those multiples.
Yes. It's easier to do because,
Three's a good number.
It is.
Well,
like 3 people talking at one time is a good number.
That's right.
It's a threefer.
3 is a magic number. Yes, it is. It takes 3 legs to make a table stand.
It does.
Yes.
Minimum.
Thank you, Schoolhouse Rock, and rest in peace, Bob DeRove. So like last week again, we have very little news to talk about other than Leah and myself. We've been doing the food list. That's where it started, and it grew from there, and it's no longer just the food list. The restaurants that are open for takeout, curbside, delivery, some have closed. We could talk about that, but really just go to the site because it's a lot to cover. I will say since yesterday, day before yesterday, Saturday, I would say 2 of the bigger hitters, Diamondback Grill and Cranky's, both closed. All this is temporary, we hope, but they are the ones that went out this weekend.
Yeah.
66 closed this weekend as well. But to find all this information, and again, it's more than just the food list. There's resources for unemployment benefits. There's the Small Business Associate, whatever the SBA stands for. The administration. That's it.
Administration.
Yeah. And other thing, Mental Health Association.
Yep.
So we
isn't that the ABC store?
Well,
that's the pharmacy.
And then
then there's the actual.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the ABC store is like the pharmacy. But Leah and her infinite wisdom, I woke up Saturday morning to I did a thing. I need you to get your butt out of bed, or actually her words were, get your crack out of the sack. I did a thing. And I'm like, okay, what? She goes, I'm doing this. And now we have Winston-Salem Strong, which the web address for that, the easy version is wsstrong.com. There are other ways of getting there, but that one's the easiest rolling off the tongue. But I'm going to actually let her tell more about that because I am doing all I can to help her, but it's really her baby. So I want to, I am I'm like the brother that sits over in the corner and says, "All right, what do you need me to do now?" No, that's not exactly true. But this is she can explain more about this. So, Leah, if you
Yeah.
would explain more about Winston-Salem Strong.
Sure. And truly this all came about from, I'm on Facebook and I'm looking around and there's pockets. There's pockets of information here and there. And then you watch the news and what's real and what's not. And it's everywhere. And so just trying to get a handle on, what is the truth and what are the facts? And then where do you go? And so just trying to make a location where folks can go and uh, it's not everything, but it's a lot. And as we find out more things, we're adding to it. So yeah, wsstrong.com. You can find all kinds of great information, whether it be about COVID itself from the CDC. You can find out information from our governor and our mayor of our city. And then, of course, the food and beverage list is there.
Ever growing, ever changing.
Yep. This morning, we're at 293 businesses listed or restaurants and breweries and whatnot, with 228 are open still. So, as Tim said, we check that every morning and throughout the day. And then on that website is just other resources, unemployment, if you need food for yourself or your kids, what are the rules around staying at home? And then, of course, the mental health section. And I guess I'll need to maybe add the hours to the ABC store on there as well,
Maybe
right?
so.
You need some options. Options are always good. And then, of course, small business assistance. We have a donate link there. There are a number of establishments that have made like GoFundMe pages, or there's even some larger national groups that are doing some donation buttons. So we've put the links there. We are not collecting the money, nor are we distributing that money. It is going straight to their GoFundMe pages. So if you want to support somebody locally, you can do that if their page is up there.
And
And
some
as
of
we
them
find,
actually go directly. You can donate directly to the servers themselves on some of them.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. And as we discover more of those, we'll keep posting them. Uh, and then, of course, we've got a free tab, which on those days when you need to go take a tour somewhere and get out of Winston, you can go virtually. So we've got some links, and there's some links to some free books online and some other online learning. And I found a bunch this morning, actually, that the Today Show shared. So we'll get more of those up. And then we're looking at a couple more tabs to add throughout time. So got some lists. And then, of course, we're getting ready to unveil the T-shirt.
Yeah.
That is in the works, so that we can all show our Winston-Salem pride, and that we're all in this together.
Yes. Hashtag we are all in this together.
I was gonna say one thing I didn't see. Oh, no, wait, never mind. I do.
Oh.
Old Salem. You got it in the free part. The Old Salem, because they were putting out a bunch of free stuff for folks that are trying to learn at home.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, you can take a virtual tour. Indeed. And I
It's-
like that.
It's really been impressive to see all the different organizations that are stepping up right now to really try to make a difference.
Yeah, definitely. Well, and locally, just noticing how many people are going and purchasing meals for healthcare workers, and whether they're doing that anonymously. So it's not only helping the restaurant, it's also feeding some healthcare workers that are doing great work right now.
Well,
Uh,
actually, just this
amazing.
weekend we had Grecian Corner
Yep.
put out that an anonymous donor had paid for 100 meals for the Bethesda Center for the homeless.
Wow, that's
Didn't
awesome.
tell anybody who they were. They just said, "Here, pay for this and take it to the Bethesda Center." That's 100 meals. That helps that restaurant and its employees, and 100 meals that feed people who are struggling to find food at all. So
Yep.
And you figure even if they're doing it at cost, and that's hundreds of dollars, it's a beautiful thing that somebody just said, you know what? Let's not forget those on the far fringes of the margins, the ones that typically are forgotten.
yeah,
I love it. I love it. It's a beautiful thing.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Right
what y'all are doing too. I mean, I include that in this. The fact that you've put all of this information together in one simple portal. It's easy to go through. It doesn't take, an advanced internet degree to follow through the website and see all the information that's been gathered. This is a lot of work and clearly an act of love. So thank y'all.
Yeah.
well, thank
Yeah.
you for
Well,
that.
yeah, definitely. It's we gotta help our fellow man and fellow woman here in our community. So definitely labor of love, um,
Hmm.
Yeah,
for sure. And
yeah,
and myself just trying to find information. It's like, where in the heck do I go? So
yeah,
um, been good. Yeah,
You made it
definitely.
easy on yourself.
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, absolutely. Well, like I said last week, Leah, it's been, when I say, most people say, well, that's a chore, and then it's a bad thing. But this has been fun. Sad that we have to do it, but
yep,
also
yep,
on the other side of this resource will not go away once
right,
we're on the other side of this. I mean, people are still going to need unemployment. People are still going to need
hmm,
um, to know which restaurants are there, and we're hopefully we can take the X's out of the closed column, and
yep,
uh, we just have all this stuff will still be there even
yep,
when we're on the other side of the now normal.
hmm,
And I'm just glad to be part of it and glad that we are all in this together. Hashtag we, not me.
We, not
yes,
me. I like that.
Yeah. Um,
yeah,
so we're strong. We're going strong, and we're going to continue to grow strong.
yeah,
And as time goes on, more people will be able to because there's going to be a whole lot more stuff that shows up as the time goes along. We're looking probably at June now before we see even the light at the end of the tunnel. So for the restaurants, I mean, and
yep,
a lot of the other stuff probably even go further than that. But we're here, and people will have a chance to add their because we're an inventive bunch, and they will come up with other things, and we will say, all right, well, here's where you can find out about it. And I am just so glad that we have stumbled into this. Really,
yeah,
In many ways,
hate
I
to.
was thinking last week that the fact that we have most of the country now wired for internet is a huge bonus in this time because it
hmm,
is allowing us to still be in communication with each other. We can still gather as groups online virtually and stay in touch with each other. Uh, if we didn't have those tools, this would be so much tougher.
Yeah, so can you imagine in the 1700s or whenever it was that the Tale of Two Cities, because there was poor, there was disease and famine. I'm not talking about the Black Plague. That was earlier than that, but um, when they only thing they had were town criers and maybe some newspapers. It wasn't a big thing at the time, and so things were happening and nobody knew what it was exactly. That's had the doctors with the big long uh, bird face things. And the reason they had those was so they could stuff things in there. They didn't have to smell the dead bodies.
Yeah.
But I'm glad too that we are at a spot that in history that information is readily available. The bad part of that is a lot of the information, not all, not even most, but a lot of the information is false or misleading or
Mm.
purposefully so. Some
Yeah.
of it is conjecture. Others are using it to, and I don't mean necessarily politics on the federal level. I'm talking about politics in, just general. Um, so just I guess the thing with Winston Armstrong too is make sure that the information you're gathering, not you, Leah, but the people who are using Winston Armstrong, that the information that you're gathering is accurate and can be backed up with facts, not conjecture, and not just because one person said, not my side, not your side, that the right side,
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
correct side, and that's usually science driven.
Yep.
And I mean, there's a reason why those people have degrees in what they do. So, just,
Oddly enough, I was reading something just in the New York Times this morning that um, Russia and China have upped their game about a disinformation campaign into the U.S.,
Wow.
not directed at the election now, just stirring up garbage.
mhm.
So to your point, Tim, yes, we need to be looking at what's the source of this?
Yep.
Is this a reliable source of information? And if you see the name of a newspaper, he says in quotes, a news outlet in quotes, and you don't recognize it, yeah, probably not worth listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The the problem becomes when you continue to hear the same message, um, whether it's true or not, you begin to believe that. And so
Mhm.
just trying to make sure that you go to a source, and make sure that you're checking those things.
Well, you tell a
Um,
big enough lie often enough, and
yep.
people will believe it.
Oh yeah.
History has borne that out.
Yep.
So, yeah, I appreciate that the information that you're putting together has been vetted. We know this is accurate information from trusted sources, and that's exactly what we need now
Yeah.
more than ever.
And
Yeah.
as another resource, this is just from me. It's not necessarily something that has to go on with Strong, but there is a website called allsides.com, and it
Mm,
actually uh, puts different. It helps you identify the slant or bias of any news
Mm.
agency.
oh wow.
Um, I'll admit that I follow things on the left a little more closely than I do on the right, but there are there are plenty of um, those straight down the middle that,
Yeah.
as long as you're not listening to what some people or one person in general that likes to fashion himself the leader of this country, but if you that the ones that he's talking about, sometimes they do good, sometimes they do bad. No, they're pretty much straight down the middle, and I'm going to go ahead and call them out. The ones that are centric is Associated Press, the
Hmm.
BBC, Bloomberg, believe it or not,
Mm,
Christian Science Monitor, NPR, the online news, not necessarily the opinion pieces, Reuters, The Hill, USA Today, and the Wall Street Journal online news only. Now, their opinion tends to lead a little bit right, as the NPR opinion tends to lean a little bit left. But for the actual news part of those, they are straight up and down the middle. From
They're
there, you can
reporting
just
what happened and not giving you analysis of what happened. It's just these are the facts.
sure,
Now
yeah,
you make up your own mind from there.
yeah, absolutely. So, all sides, ALLSIDES.com, and you can, if you can search, if you found a news site that you're questioning, like, what is that, you can put it in, and if it has been vetted, they will tell you, and there's thousands, so pretty sure anything you're going to find is going to be there. So um
cool. That's a great resource.
yeah, so
Thanks for
Yeah.
sharing that, Tim. I hadn't heard of that one myself, so that's a good one to know.
oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Lee, anything else you want to talk about Winston Strong? Anything else going on that you want to mention before we go into the calamity and fun and frolic part?
And all the rest.
Yeah.
Just that, of course, with all things, we have the Facebook and we have the Instagram and the Twitter. So wherever you want to go and follow us or check in. We're posting across all three. And then if you see something that you think would be good, shoot us an email. Our emails are up on the page and
Hmm.
let us know. Certainly, we don't have everything, and we would love to add more resources to that page. So please let us know what we can do, and we'll vet it, and then we'll get some things up there.
Yeah, because remember, this is a two-person, well, a 1.5 person uh, effort here, and we can't be everywhere. So we are relying on the public's help to help us populate the information, whether it's the food or what. I guess I need to start calling it hospitality industry, or
Mhm.
whether it's a resource for people in need of something, or
Mhm.
anything like that. Just send us an email or on any of the instant messengers for any of the social media, and just keep us informed about what's going on. And once we can verify it, then we'll throw it up onto the site, and it's ready for public consumption at that point.
Mhm.
Since this is a food blog, I figured I'd use, like, eating terms and stuff.
Foodie.
Yeah. Um,
Yeah, include a little bit of that.
yeah, a little bit of that. Well,
This is the right recipe for success. All of this information is now available
Oh,
in one place.
That is good. A recipe for success. All right, let's do some silliness here. This is the food holidays and history for this week. Today is the 30th of March, so we're starting with the 30th of March being National Dining Car Day. We'll find out why in a minute. And something I
Interesting.
have no interest in whatsoever called Turkey Neck Soup Day.
huh. I don't
Yeah.
even know how to
Okay.
take that.
Well, I looked it up, and turkey neck soup is just what it sounds like. It's taking the neck bones from turkeys and stuff and putting it with vegetables and whatever. It's basically making a stock, but you use that as the soup. And I'm like, nah, I'm okay.
Okay.
I'm all right
Now,
without.
now, have you ever made turkey soup using the bones and creating your own stock?
I have not.
Oh
And
man.
I don't cook. So
Yeah, yeah. Turkey.
Mel, Mel does all that, and we've been interestingly enough, we've been going back and watching Top Chef.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And so I feel in the next coming weeks there's going to be some creativity in our food menus and what things that she's
Well,
exploring.
I
So
think
I'll
that's
let you know what happens.
I think that's important. Scripps, who owns Home and Garden and the Food Network and their offshoots DIY and the Food Channel or Cooking Channel. I bet their stock goes up
Mm-hmm.
over this thing because people are really figuring out how to do stuff in the kitchen and in their garden because they have nothing else to do. And I think those channels are really going to see an increase. And the good thing about that is people will enjoy what they're watching and get addicted and watch it even past this. So good for
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
On the 30th in 1843, Napoleon E. Guerin of New York received the first U.S. patent for an egg incubator. He also was the first to patent a life preserver.
To save the egg, or
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's
Let's
just to
see.
keep the egg afloat.
I mean, maybe those two thoughts are connected. Maybe they're not.
Yeah. Which came first, the preserver or the egg? I would say the egg.
Boom.
In 1858, on the 30th, Hyman Lippman of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, received a patent for the first pencil with the eraser attached.
Mm.
thank
You had,
goodness for that.
yeah, you had two different at the up to that point. In 1867, the United States agreed to purchase Alaska from Russia for 7.2 million. That equals out about 2 cents an acre. The treaty with Russia was negotiated and signed by the Secretary of State William Seward and Russian Prime Minister and the Russian Prime Minister to the United States, Edward D. something I can't pronounce. And the critics at the time called this Seward's Folly, yet it's the
Mhm.
biggest lamb purchase that we had because that's bigger than all of the Louisiana purchase. I mean, Alaska itself takes, if you set it over top of the United States, the 48 contiguous states, the lower 48, it would take up 3/4 of that. So, I mean, it
huge.
is ginormous indeed. I mentioned earlier it was National Dining Car Day. So in 1868, the Pullman Palace Car Company introduced the first railroad dining car.
So
Okay.
thus they wanted a whole day to help promote the fact that you could eat on the train.
Yes.
There's
Yes.
an actual kitchen. They're going to fix food and you can eat instead of just bring your lunch and eat.
Yes. Plus
Do you think
tax.
do you think they had a all you could eat buffet that day?
I don't know. It's all you can keep down for $1. um, in 1899, the Tropical Trading and Transport Company merged with its rival Boston Fruit Company to form the United Fruit Company. The company traded bananas and other tropical fruit grown in Central and South America. The company is now known as Chiquita Brands International. I guess
Hmm.
Chiquita Brands International.
The way to tell a good banana is on the peel.
Yes.
Oh.
Remember the old jingle?
No.
It's about Chiquita bananas. The way to spot a Chiquita. And never mind. I'm not going to be able to remember all the jingle. They had a jingle for Chiquita bananas. And the way you find a good banana is on the peel because that's where they put the sticker.
Well,
Get it. I
They
get
tried to
it.
say that their bananas were better than any other bananas that were out there.
All
huh,
right.
this conversation about bananas is pretty appealing, I would have to say.
Oh.
It's a slippery slope. Don't get into that.
Yeah, here we go.
You're
It's
driving me
Monday.
bananas
Yeah.
with that. Um, in 1914, Morton Salt Company registered When It Rains, It Pours trademark. I think I've told you before, Ray. My umbrella is actually a Morton Salt umbrella. I once helped my ex-wife's cousin move, the vice president of Morton Salt, and he gave me an actual umbrella that had the Morton Salt stuff on it. So
Cool. Not everybody gets that.
no, not everybody does. In 1972, on the 30th, Royal Canadian Navy sailors are issued their very last daily rum ration.
Oh
That was a
no.
dark, dark day.
It was
Man.
don't know if it was dark rum or light rum, but it was a dark day.
Yes. I mean,
As to
here's
quote
your
Jack
daily dose
Sparrow,
of salt, your daily dose of medicine,
yeah,
daily dose of coffee and protein and rum.
yeah. To quote Jack Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow, why is all the rum gone? So if you've not
Yeah,
seen,
it's a great question. Why is all the rum gone?
don't know.
So, I think somebody drank it.
I don't know what you're talking about because I'm not as thick as you drunk I am.
Yeah, it was Sparrow that did it. He drank it all.
That
It's all
Sparrow
Sparrow's
fella.
fault.
All right, so the 31st of March is Cesar Chavez Day, which is an official state holiday in California, Colorado, and Texas. It's not a federal holiday, but it is declared annually by presidential proclamation.
Huh.
Well, I don't know if it
Interesting.
will be this year, but you know, uh, by usual, it's annually proclaimed. And it's also National Clams on the Half Shell Day.
Okay.
I'm okay with that. I prefer oysters
The
on the
whole?
half shell.
Oh, I was gonna say the whole shell.
No, that's kind of hard and chewy,
Oh,
crunchy. That's more crunch than I want.
I think I'd rather have my clam fried, personally. Just saying.
Yeah. Where's your sense
The
of
whole raw
adventure?
food thing. I'm good with vegetables, but
You're not a sushi
some
fan.
meats.
No sushi
It
for
depends.
you. If it's a California roll.
Yes, yes, love the California rolls. Actually, tuna, love it,
Yeah.
but it took me a while to be able to enjoy tuna as sushi.
That's my
Yeah,
favorite thing. I love it. I love it raw.
and
Um, go ahead.
I'm I'm not a fish sushi. Mm-mm. I've lived in a number of landlocked states, and
Mm,
you just don't do that,
yeah, depending on how far away you are from the beach.
right?
I love it. It's my favorite overall food. I mean, my food category. Sushi's my favorite. It's Tater Day. All things potatoes. You okay with
Nice.
that,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, yeah. And it's Oranges and Lemons Day.
Oh,
Oranges
Mm.
and lemons say the bells of St. Clement's. Bullseyes and targets say the bells of St. Margaret's. Um, Pokers and tongs say the bells of St. John's. Pancakes and fritters say the bells of St. Peter's. Two sticks and an apple say the bells of Whitechapel. Old Father Baldpate, or Bald Pat, how you say that? I guess Baldpate say the slow bells of Aldgate. Maids in white aprons say the bells of St. Catherine's. That doesn't rhyme. Brickbats and tiles say the bells of St. Giles. Kettles and pans say the bells of St. Anne's. You owe me 5 farthings, say the bells of St. Martin's. When will you pay me, say the bells of Old Bailey. When I grow rich, say the bells of Shoreditch. Pray, when will that be, say the bells of Stepney. I'm not sure. I'm sure I don't know, say the great bell of Bow. Here come a candle to light you to bed. Chip chop, the last man's dead. That is a nursery rhyme called
oh,
Oranges and Lemons, the Bells of St. Clement's. Um, yeah, I don't know. I was just, it was there, so I figured I'd read the whole thing.
I don't know that I've ever heard the whole thing.
I had never
me,
heard any of it.
me either. But I did on a side note, and back to oranges, I had one for breakfast.
All right, good. That's
So
my
vitamin
favorite fruit.
C.
It's my favorite fruit, but I don't like to peel it necessarily. So I'm lazy and just don't eat a lot of them. It's my favorite one to eat though. If someone else peels
But
it,
to
I
go
would
back
eat
to the potatoes, is there a way
Yeah.
that you don't like potatoes?
it. No,
Hmm.
I don't like sweet potatoes.
Mm.
Well, that's
Um,
sweet potatoes. This
yeah,
is potatoes.
yeah, potatoes. Yeah, taters. This is all kinds
Taters,
of taters here. I like all taters, especially in tater form.
especially in that tighter form,
Yeah.
that's when it's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm telling you what, it's some good stuff right there. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Okay.
And we hadn't even started on the rum yet.
That's right. Well, I
right?
think we have answered where has all the rum gone.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, so here's one that hits close to home tomorrow, the 31st, in 1814. John Lineback of Salem, North Carolina, received the first patent for a cottonseed hulling machine. And
Oh,
Salem
Interesting.
is the Salem in Winston-Salem, for those who don't know. And the Lineback family, there's still a lot of Linebacks around here, is
Yes,
one
there
of
are.
the original, along with the Butners and the Mickeys and others that started this great town of ours that we are strong about. So tomorrow, rejoice in that there was a hulling machine that was patented to John Lineback here in Salem.
It's a cool thing.
Yes, on the 31st of 1927, Cesar Chavez was born. He was an American farm worker and labor leader, co-founder with Dolores Huerta of the National Farm Workers Association, now the United Farm Workers. So that's why it's celebrated in Colorado, California, and
California.
Texas. On the 31st in 1989, chefs from Japanese restaurants in New York finally persuaded the FDA to allow them to import and serve fogu. The first shipment of Japanese blowfish, the tora fogu, or fugu, arrived on that day. The chefs had to attend special classes to protect their customers from poisoning Always a good plus in
Don't kill the customer.
yeah, not killing the people who are paying you is always a plus in profit.
On that one, they get the payment first before you eat the fish.
Yeah, but if the word gets
Yeah.
out that they're killing them, then other people will not pay for it, unless you're just one of those. I'll take a chance on that one.
Yeah, no, thank you.
On the 31st in 2014, the International Court of Justice rules that the Japanese government must halt its whaling program from the Antarctic. Japan said it would abide by the decision, and as far as I know, they still have kept their word.
That's nice.
Yeah, good for them for not
Good for them.
killing defenseless animals just for whatever. On the 1st of April, it's April Fool's Day or All Fool's Day. It's also National Sourdough Bread Day.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm a fan.
Yes.
I like it.
Toasted with a little butter and some honey.
I'll go with it. Yep. On the 1st in 1582, France adopted the new Gregorian calendar. Prior to that, the New Year was celebrated on April 1st. The New Year actually started on March 25th, which fell during Holy Week, so the celebrations were delayed until the first day of April. One explanation of the origin of April Fool's Day is that those who failed to accept the new start of the year on January 1st became the object of practical jokes. Pope Gregory XIII introduced the new Gregorian calendar in 1582. It is possible that Charles IX of France may have changed the start of the new year to January in 1564. So, yes, on Wednesday it is the anniversary of adopting the new Gregorian calendar, although they really adopted it before then, and, you know, Holy Week takes precedence over everything, obviously, so.
And
Except now.
What'd you say?
Except now.
Yeah. Yeah. Leah, what were you going to say?
Could you imagine just having that power to be like, yeah, I think we're going to change the New Year date to this. And it just being like, okay. That's some power right there to change the calendar.
Well, it
That's
was the
impressive.
Pope. In 1582, the Pope had all the power, even over the kings.
And I appreciate a good April Fool's joke. I've definitely pulled off numerous ones.
And this week, this year, the Less Desirables will be recorded on, well, actually, we'd probably be recorded today, but recorded for April Fool's Day. So I don't know what we'll do. We'll see what happens. Tune in.
Yeah,
to
I was
find
originally scheduled to deliver a message on April Fool's. So I guess, joke's on me.
On the 1st of April in 1864, Travelers Life and Accident Insurance Company was founded. In 1891, Wrigley Company is founded in Chicago by William Wrigley Jr., selling soap and giving away baking powder as a premium. The baking powder was more popular, so he switched to selling baking powder and giving chewing gum as a premium with each can. The gum became more popular than the baking powder, so he switched into the chewing gum business. And then he ended up with a ball field named after him in Chicago.
And under every desk in the entire country is evidence of his handiwork.
This is true.
That is true.
It was I believe the first one was Juicy Fruit, if I'm not mistaken. I think the first was Juicy Fruit, and then came along the Spearmint and Double Mint and all that stuff.
Well, and good for him for seeing that. Okay, so soap doesn't sell that well, so then we'll go to baking soda and that. Oh, bubble gum. He was on top of it.
Yeah. On the first in 1893, the first dishwashing machine became an award-winning success at the 1893 Columbian Exposition, which used Josephine Garris Cochrane's hand-operated mechanical dishwashers in its kitchens. She patented her original version on December 28th in 1886, which was before that, oddly enough, because, generally these people wait several years before patenting anything. And her company, Josephine Garris Cochrane, eventually evolved into what we know today as KitchenAid.
Oh.
In 1918, on the 1st, in Canada, Alberta, and Saskatchewan declare total prohibition of alcoholic beverages. Screw them both.
Yeah. And we
I don't
understand
even.
the
I don't
swine
even
flu
know-
was happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah, people needed that, and they took it away.
dang. I don't think we should celebrate that one at all.
No.
No, we're not.
Okay.
We will remember it as a failed social experiment that we shall not repeat.
This is true.
We'll learn from that lesson.
Yes.
In 1957, the BBC aired a spoof television documentary about spaghetti crops in Switzerland, showing women carefully plucking strands of spaghetti from a tree and laying them in the sun to dry. Many viewers called in asking where they could purchase their own spaghetti trees.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Ignorance knows no boundaries.
I have no words for this one.
There are no words for that.
No words are needed.
Spaghetti trees. Yes. You know them, you love them, you pass them all the time.
Oh, I wonder how much money they made off of that.
I don't know. Out in the spaghetti orchard.
It's in the mail.
Here's your seeds. It's just little pieces of, like couscous, which is pasta that's really, 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 really fine. So
Spaghetti seeds,
yeah. Plant these as spaghetti seeds.
Seeds.
Hopefully no one's listening to this and the three of us can market that.
We've got a 20-pound bag of couscous here at the house. We're set.
We have all the spaghetti trees you need.
Free shipping and handling.
That's right. Well,
We're happy to handle it.
Yeah. We'll handle it for free. In 1960, Tyros 1, the first weather observation satellite, was launched from Cape Kennedy. In 1996, the Taco Bell fast food chain played an April Food joke on the American public by claiming to have bought the Liberty Bell to help pay down the national debt. And people,
Nice.
and people bought into that. In 1999, restaurant Nora in D.C. became America's first certified organic restaurant. This means that 95% or more of everything that you eat at a restaurant has been produced by certified organic growers and farmers. Now, I have a problem with the term organic in this way because only thing they mean is nothing has been added like hormones or pesticides and all that other stuff. In Europe, when we were there, we mentioned something to one of the restaurateurs about organic because, I don't pay extra for things that are plain, because organic here means you're going to pay out the wazoo for it because they've not done anything to it, which totally makes no sense. But anyway, they're like, what are you talking about? Everything here is just made that way. We don't have organic. We have food. So, okay. And somebody said, well, it's naturally grown. I said, yeah, so is arsenic. So we're going to call that organic? No. So just stop with the organic crap and just fix real food without all the hormones and stuff, and everything will be okay. We don't have to have a special name for it and charge twice as much for it. Just make real food that is real good. Okay.
We'll
Soapbox
appreciate
into the corner. April the
for the next
2nd.
10 seconds.
Yeah. Well, there's more coming, I'm sure. On the 2nd of April, it's my holiday, National Peanut Butter and Jelly Day.
Oh, it's a good one.
Oh,
Yes.
It's definitely a good one.
That is a good one.
And it can also on that day, it's National Burrito Day. So one thing that I'm sure Leah has noticed, and I have noticed, there is an abundance of Mexican restaurants in this town that you can get your burritos, even during this time of holding up. So you can get it delivered, you can pick it up to go, you can get it curbside. Lots of
Ta-
burrito place.
Tacos, man. All my feed is like in my Facebook feed is all tacos all the time, and it's like, oh my gosh,
That's
like I gotta go get some tacos. I'm like tacos. Oh. Even today, I saw where one of the food trucks is down there at coffee shop, and I'm like tacos. I
It's
gotta
Cavita, right?
go.
Cavita is down
Yeah,
there? Yeah.
yeah. Because they are on my part of the alphabet, and so every day I see tacos, and I'm like,
Well,
no, I'm
I've
going
got
today.
La Botana, I've got Los
Mm,
Taquito, I've got uh, a lot of them over there. So, uh, yeah, lots of choices.
mhm.
On the 2nd in 1827, Joseph Dixon began manufacturing the first lead pencils necessary to write recipes and menus with. So, thank you, Joseph.
Do
In
y'all have that piece of lead in your hand somewhere from when you were a kid and somebody poked you? Do y'all have
No,
that, or am I the only one?
I stepped
you're
on a
the only
pencil
one.
once, so I don't have the lead in there, but it did puncture my foot, but it was not left in there.
Souvenir.
Yeah. In 1863, the Richmond bread riots happened. Shortages of food caused hundreds of angry women gathered in Richmond, Virginia to march on the governor's office and then on the government commissary to demand bread. It ended in a riot when they broke into the commissary and then other shops and buildings and carried out everything they could carry. Even the hospital reported losing over 300 pounds of beef. Arrests were made, but the request of the authorities, the newspapers downplayed the incident, and records were later destroyed when the Confederate government fled and burned much of the town behind them. So,
Don't take your bread away from women, because we get angry.
yeah,
We need bread.
we all do. And we need women, so keep the women happy.
True
Yes.
that.
In 1889, on the 2nd, Charles M. Hall received a patent for the process to extract aluminum from its ore. So there's that.
Interesting.
On the 3rd, it's National Chocolate Mousse Day for you there, Ray. Chocolate mousse.
Yes. Loving it.
On the 3rd, in 1829, James Carrington of Connecticut patented a coffee mill.
Oh.
We needed that.
Yes.
Mhm.
In 1860, on the 3rd, the first Pony Express mail delivery service by horse and rider between St. Joseph, Missouri to Sacramento, California began. The 1,800-mile run took 10 days, which is still actually pretty good. I thought at that time it would have been a lot longer, but
Yeah.
10 days for 1,800 miles, that's
Pretty good.
That's pretty
You're
good.
booking it.
That horse was
Woo.
one tired something. He was one tired equine. On the 3rd and 1959, the Coaster song Charlie Brown is banned by the BBC because it refers to throwing spitballs. The ban only lasted for 2 weeks.
Oh.
That Charlie Brown, he is a clown. Old Charlie Brown. And he always has to ask, why is everybody always picking on me? In
Let's take one of today's songs and throw it back there then and say, all right, what would you ban this song for?
Yeah.
Would be spitballs.
Yeah. Your milkshake brings what? Banned. In 1974, on the 3rd, the super tornado outbreak happened. 148 tornadoes in 13 states in 26 hours. The world's largest tornado outbreak in recorded history. It included 6 F5 tornadoes and 30 F4 tornadoes. The first one hit at 1 p.m. and the final one hit at 2 a.m. the following morning.
Wow.
Dang.
So that's a lot of tornadoes.
Confluence of events.
Indeed. In 1982, the temperature in Lamberton, Minnesota dropped from 78 degrees Fahrenheit to 7 in 24 hours.
Ooh.
The 71 degree drop in temperature is a Minnesota record. Now, this got me to thinking, what is the world's record temperature change? So I asked my good friend and expert on all things, Mr. Google, and found that the greatest temperature change in 24 hours occurred in Loma, Montana on January 15th, 1972. The temperature rose exactly 103 degrees from minus 54 degrees Fahrenheit to 49 degrees Fahrenheit. And that is the world record for a 24-hour temperature change.
That is a huge swing.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
From negative 54 to 45.
To 49.
49.
Yeah.
I bet they were running around in shorts.
I bet so. It's a heat wave.
It's, uh,
Heat wave. All right. In 2010, students at a Utah high school created a replica of Van Gogh's Starry Night using 2 tons of malt oatmeal cereal.
Why?
That I do not know.
Because it
And-
comes in a bunch of different colors.
Yeah, it must. And here's the thing. I had never heard of malt oatmeal cereal.
Really?
I had never heard of it. So I looked it up.
Actually, I
Go ahead.
bet you hadn't known it.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good chance of that. But it was because Mom Brands, Malt Oatmeal Company itself, was an American producer of breakfast cereals headquartered in Minnesota. It marketed its products to at least 70% of the country's grocery stores with estimated sales in 2012 of $750 million.
Mhm.
It operated 4 manufacturing plants, one in Northfield, Minnesota, one in Tremonton, Utah, which is probably close to where this was and they can get it easily. One in St. Ansgar, Iowa, and one in Asheboro, North Carolina.
Yep. I was saying there's one here.
Yeah, and the company had distribution centers in Grove City, Ohio, Coppell, Texas, and Salt Lake City. Again, probably why this happened in Utah. Mom Brands produced both hot and cold cereals. As of 2012, cold cereals manufactured by Mom accounted for over 75% of its total sales. Most of its cold cereals are similar to cereal brands produced by its competitors, Kellogg's and General Mills. In 2015, Mom Brands was bought by Post Holdings. So Post Cereal now owns Malt Oatmeal.
Interesting.
But
And
yeah,
if you go to the cereal aisle, all those bags of cereal.
on the bottom
That's-
shelf, like the
Well,
knockoff
they're
brands of like Fruit Loops and stuff.
not in boxes. They're in bags.
Right. Yeah, but all the knockoff stuff. Yeah, like Kaboom
Exactly.
and things like that.
Yes. Yeah. The cinnamon graham crackers, not the cinnamon toast crunch.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a bag of their cinnamon cereal here at the house. And
Okay.
yeah, it's a whole lot less expensive. And in most of their cases, I can't tell a difference. It's probably the same stuff. It just got put into a box or got put into a bag.
Yeah. I'm very particular about my cereal. So there's a chance I just didn't look down that far. I used to work in a grocery store at one time, so I just looked down there and like, who would eat that, and move on. But so no, a lot of people, and but I was a cereal snob, and if it's not Fruity Pebbles, then I probably don't want it. So
Well, and it's not relegated to the bottom shelf anymore. They have a huge section and it's just all their stuff. You know, it's probably 10, 12 feet in one aisle.
well, it's owned by Post, so they, like Budweiser, probably have a lot of shelf real estate
yeah.
there. All right, so moving on to the 4th of April, International Carrot Day,
Interesting.
National Cordon Bleu Day,
Ooh,
and Vitamin C
No
Day.
connection.
No, no, and Vitamin C Day. So,
Mhm.
and we'll find that it's actually a good day in history for 2 vitamins. On 1820, on the 4th in 1828, Casparus van Wooden of Amsterdam patented chocolate milk powder.
all right.
Yeah.
We need more of that. Chocolate.
Chocolate, yes. In 1899, African American inventor Benjamin F. Jackson received a patent for a gas burner.
Nice.
In 1932, on the 4th, vitamin C is first isolated by Professor C. Glenn King at the University of Pittsburgh. And then 7 years later, on the exact same day, Merck, Sharp, and Dome announced the first synthesis of vitamin B6. So there you have it. The 4th was a very short day for food stuff. Now we're going to the 5th, which is Sunday. It's National Deep Dish Pizza Day.
Oh, that's a good day.
And it does not help that I have not eaten anything today and have to talk about this stuff. Every damn week, I talk about food, and every morning I'm doing this food list, and my stomach's going, please
Feed me, say more.
Yes. So it's National Deep Dish Pizza Day. It's also Molasses Day, National Caramel Day,
Oh.
National Raisin and Spice Bar Day.
Ah.
Ooh, ah. Yeah. So on the 5th in 1764, the Sugar Act passed in Britain, placing new restrictions on the import of molasses to the colonies. That's here. 1768, the first Chamber of Commerce in the United States is founded in New York City.
New York City.
Get a rope.
In 18...
Did y'all ever watch those salsa commercials?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
they were, okay.
Yeah. New York City. It was for Pace, or was it?
Pace, yeah.
Yeah,
Pace
it's
pecone.
picante sauce.
Yep. 1806, Isaac Quintard. I'm sure it's Quintard, but I want to say Quintard of Stanfield, Connecticut, received a patent for an apple cider mill. So he's not too much of a Quintard, I guess. But in 1864, George W. Brown of Galesburg, Illinois, received a patent for the first successful mechanical corn planter. 1881, on the 5th, Edwin Houston and Elihu Thompson patented a centrifugal separator. If you're British, it's centrifugal, which could be used in separating milk. In 1882, the Jergens Soap Company was founded in Cincinnati, Ohio, to manufacture coconut oil soap for the use in hard water. In 1990, a jury in Bridgeport, Connecticut rejected deli owner Julius Gold's claim that he was owed 8% of Paul Newman's food company stock, Newman's own. Gold claimed he was promised the stock for helping Newman start the business. All profits of the company would continue to be given to charity, and the jury says no.
None for you.
Yes. In 2012, about 20 million Britons in southern and eastern England were banned from using garden hoses for gardening or cleaning due to a 2-year drought. Anyone caught using a quote-unquote hose pipe faces a fine of £1,000, which was the equivalent at that time of $1,500.
That's a big fine.
It is a big fine. It was
Yeah.
not fine. So that's all the food holidays and history for this week. Special thanks to James Ehler at foodreference.com for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, figure out how cold and fast we can go in 24 hours. And wondering other stuff. I'm lost. I had something clever to say there. Oh, teaching me what malt oatmeal cereal was. There we go.
There you go. And to know that we have a plant just down the road in Ashboro.
Yeah, there we go. So I will have to make sure that I check that out next time I'm allowed to go to the grocery store. I'm not allowed to go right now. So yeah, thank you again, James. The Man Who Ate the Town podcast is part of the Less Desirables podcast network. Along with this podcast, you can listen to the Less Desirables, the Beer Dads, Fan Interference, Apartment 5B, Beeswax, Final and More, Sipping NC once this mess is over, and the Wheeler's Dog podcast. You can find all of these podcasts and their latest episodes on our network website and directory, tldpodnetwork.com. You'll also find social media links for each one right there as well. We'd greatly appreciate if you visited our sponsors. I know 2 of them are still operating right now, and one is doing some intermittent deliveries. So let's start with Carrabba's. If you haven't been to their page to see what Daniel is doing, then you need to really go over there, because he is feeding a lot of people. This week alone, he fed 5 firehouses, the communications and records divisions of the Winston-Salem Police Department, and the bus drivers and call center for the Winston-Salem Forsyth County school system that are doing the deliveries.
That's just an amazing thing that he's doing.
Yeah, and that's just this week. He has more this week coming. So keep an eye on it, and whenever you're able, you can still order food, and you can still go by and pick it up. He has a really awesome drive-through situation, because I went through there on Thursday. It was really, really cool. Also, Washington Perkin Provision Company is located at 301 West 4th Street. You can find a little bit of everything in there: local fruits and vegetables, meat and dairy from local sources, Bingo Bango sodas made right here in Winston-Salem, Wolfie's Custard, and more. Washington Perk is better than a convenience store, not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, they're Washington Perk, and on Instagram, Washington Perk _DTWS. And they have plenty of stuff for you to go in and grab, so you're not without if you live downtown or if you just want to stop. The Humblebee shop is located at 1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown. Go to Instagram and see what Brittany is whipping up, because it's always good stuff. They want to challenge your perception of Scratch Made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook, Instagram, or visit thehumblebeeshopapa.co.
That's SHOPPE.co.
Now, 2 of those are on your side of the list, Leah.
Yep.
Washington Perk, we know what's going on there. What's Humblebee doing right now? Do you know?
Yeah,
Just deliveries?
Humblebee's doing Saturday deliveries.
Okay.
So they've been putting out messages all week for folks to order online, and that they'll deliver on Saturday. And lo and behold, by her just doing that, she had 80 plus orders for Saturday.
That's awesome.
Yeah, which was awesome to see. And they had to enlist a couple of the people to help deliver, and it was just amazing to see the community support that. And yeah, go order online. Sit while you're sitting there on your couch watching TV. You can order, and then it'll be dropped at your door.
Yep.
I mean, there's some folks definitely missing some Brittany.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I saw this morning, Washington Park posted on Instagram, they have toilet paper. I don't know how long that's going to last, but at least they had some this morning.
That's cool. That's cool. All right, so keep an eye on my blog and this podcast to find out more about the food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, send us an email, tim@themanoatthetown.com, or on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Instant Messengers. If you want to add to the food list on wsstrong.com, also send that there, or Leah, LEARMETZ, at gmail.com. And like us on Facebook, Twitter. We are Man Who Number 8 the Town. On Instagram, we are Man Who Ate the Town. And now we invite you to call and leave a voicemail if you want to. If there's a podcast, any podcast on the TLD network, you can call 336-422-6862. What's that, Ray? 6862 is...
Numb.
That's exactly right. 336-422-NUMB. Leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the air. One more time, visit wsstrong.com. and use the resources there, because Lord knows we've put our soul into that. Leah, thank you again for being part here, and we'll
Thank you.
We'll make sure you're here again. We're getting ready to run out of time on our Zoom, so I'm going to go through this really quick. This is a reminder to all the listeners, and just good practice, not just for now, but for always. Wash your damn hands. My name is Tim.
My name's Ray.
I'm Leah.
And we are closing the recipe box. Until next time, thank you for listening. Thank you for reading. Bon appetit. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.